Welcome one, welcome all to Max's Mic. I'm Max and I have the mic. Today's episode is my ALCS NLCS prediction video. I'm going to be breaking down the ALCS and NLCS, what to look out for, and who I think will win both series. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. First, we are going to start with the NLCS. NLCS will be between the Mets and the Dodgers. Many people had picked the Dodgers to be in this series. Actually, many people didn't pick the Dodgers to be in this series. Many people picked the Padres to be here. However, the Dodgers haven't sold yet. So here they are. Managed to find a way due to some lockdown pitching in those last two games of the series, putting up a combined, I believe it was 0 runs over the last 18 innings of that series. It was 0 runs over the last 18 innings of that series. Actually, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? 7. We're doing math, boys. 7. So 7 innings of nothing in game 3 would mean 25. That's 25 straight innings of a donut. Well, technically, actually 24. They didn't pitch at the bottom of the ninth of game 3. So 24 straight innings of nothing. Have not given up a run in this playoffs since the second inning of game 3. This bullpen has been locked down. Starting pitching a bit iffy. Yamamoto looked great, but otherwise, Buehler knocked around, and Flaherty got knocked around too. So I'm nervous about the starting pitching for the Dodgers. Offense has kind of been there. 2 was all you needed in game 3 to win. You needed a little more in game 2 to win. They put up 10 and you only scored 2, but put up some decent offensive numbers, excuse me. But now we're going to look over to the Mets side. And the Mets side of things, things are looking pretty good. Starting pitching in general has been solid. And the offense has been there, again, just enough to give you the wins. And quite honestly, we're in the playoffs. That's all you care about is the wins. At this point, you don't care about anyone's stats. You just care about the fact of whether or not you're winning and who's helping you win. Honestly, is the only reason why you care about a stat is if someone's not helping you win. But the Mets have been doing, a little more than enough, but basically just enough to win, especially that last game, game 4, with the grand slam from Lindor was all the runs they needed to win. So this Mets team, though, I'm really quite shocked because this wasn't the offense that I expected to see out of Philadelphia. This wasn't a team that anyone really expected to see. I expected, quite honestly, a lot more life out of this team, and it wasn't there. You look over at the Mets dugout, they had life. They had energy. They had the pitching. They were battling. It was never done for the Mets. They have the confidence. They have that 7, 8, 9 factor to it. I'd be nervous now. Going into this, game 1's in LA, game 2 in LA. Then we go back to Citi Field for a few. And I really don't know how I feel about this because, quite honestly, the Mets have looked quite good. But then again, at the same time, I'm getting this feeling that, is it really the Mets looking good? Or is it the fact that they played the Brewers, who are They won 93 games. They were pretty good. But it just didn't feel like it. It felt like everyone had the Mets winning this. Like, nobody really even considered the Brewers to have a chance. To have so much as a chance. And quite honestly, the runner-up to the Brewers were the Cubs with 83 wins, who tied with the Cardinals also at 83. So it wasn't really like there was much competition for that. So they played the Brewers. They played the Brewers hard, but they beat the Brewers. And then they played a Phillies team that just didn't feel like they showed up. I'm going to be honest, this Phillies team did not feel like they were there. Game 1, 8 strikeouts for the Phillies. Game 2, 11 strikeouts for the Phillies. Game 3, the Phillies struck out 8 times again. And game 4, the Phillies struck out 11 times. It's a lot of strikeouts. It's a lot of strikeouts. And the Mets struck out a lot too. Game 4, the Mets had 12 strikeouts. Game 3, the Mets had 11 strikeouts. Game 2, the Mets struck out 10 times. In the first game, the Mets struck out 11 times. Mets struck out actually more than the Phillies. And I key in the strikeouts a lot because that's a real key factor to a lot of dominant pitchers having dominant outings. It's either the pitchers are controlling the game due to low hit count. We're looking at anywhere between like 5 and below, like less right around a hit per inning or under, or we're looking at a high strikeout count, anywhere 8, 9 Ks a game. And that kind of keys into a pitcher being dominant. But if you've got someone on the mound, I mean, Senga kind of got knocked around a little bit in that game one, but let me check. Like Severino here. Severino, 6 hits through 6 innings pitched and 7 Ks, only giving up 3 innings. That's a really good outing. That's a really good outing. Then if you look that same game, game 2, though, you go to the other side with Christopher Sanchez, you've got 5 innings, 5 Ks, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk. All right. That's decent. So you've got some decent outings, but then you've got Aaron Nola, okay. But here's what I'm talking about by a dominant outing. Sean Manaea, 7 innings, 3 hits, 6 Ks, 2 walks. That's dominant. Look over, though, and ironically, I'm going to bring it back to the Dodgers because when you go to what a bad outing looks like here. Actually, that's not a good one. Let me go to game 1. Yamamoto, 3 innings, 5 hits, 1 K, 2 walks. It's a bad outing. It's a bad outing. But then you've got, and again, you can look into here. Like, cue into another key factor is left on base. You look at left on base. If you've got a high runners left on base count, that can kind of indicate that you're beating yourself. So what I'm getting at is sometimes the opposing team outplays you, and sometimes you outplay yourself. Or you don't play well enough. So in some of those cases, and I can actually bring this over to the Yankees, because I know the Yankees did this. Game 2, Yankees had 8 runners left on base. Let me go back. The Yankees struck out 8 times that game. 7 hits. They left 8 runners on base. They had 5 walks. That is a matter of you not playing well. That isn't the other team dominating you. That is you simply not playing well. And we can cue into the last game of that series, and we can look on the other side. KC struck out 7 times. They left 4 runners on base. They had 6 hits. Garrett Cole goes 7 innings, gives up 6 hits, 4 Ks, 1 earned run, 0 walks. That is a pitcher dominating and outperforming you. That is a pitcher having a phenomenal outing and you being unable to do it. Now, yeah, you can make the argument, oh, the team didn't show up, the team didn't play well. But sometimes it might have to do, and this looks more into the future of future matchups of also, again, did the team win or did the team lose and not the opponent beat them? And that's what I'm kind of looking at with the Phillies is the Phillies, they left 9 runners on base game 4. 6 game 5, they only had 5 hits and struck out 8 times. Game 3. Game 2, the Phillies left 7 on base. Game 1, the Phillies left 8 on base. It's quite a high number of runners left on base. If you don't know what runners left on base is, it's basically whenever there's a runner on base at the end of an inning, it's runners left on base. Sometimes it's going to look weird. So for a player's stat, it's different. When a player gets up to bat and let's say there's a runners on first and second, 2 runners on, and they get out and those runners are still on, it's going to count for them as 2 runners left on base. So let's say 2 runners get on the starting inning, next 3 guys all strike out. In the scorebook for the team, it's going to count as 2 runners left on base. But each batter is going to be charged with 2 runners left on base. So at the end of the inning, you're going to add up and you're going to be, oh, this guy's got 2, that guy's got 2, that guy's got 2. So that's 6 runners left on base. But then you look at the team stat and it's not. It's because as a team, they left 2 runners on base. But individually, these guys also left 2 runners on base. So I hope that cleared things up. But I look at that stat to kind of tell me, and again, being able to score with runners in scoring position too. Batting averages with runners in scoring position. Can you get the runners in? So all of that said, what I'm getting at in the longest way possible, because I don't know how long this video is going to be, and now I'm at 11 minutes, so I know it's going to be plenty long. Definitely did thought I was going to ramble this long. I can get into my predictions. What I predict is that the Mets aren't going to do well. I really don't think the Mets are going to do well. I don't think the Mets have really much of a chance to win the series. I think Dodgers in 6. I think the Dodgers are going to take the first 2. I think the Mets are going to win 2 at home, but the Dodgers are going to win this in 6. I don't think the Mets have the team to do this. Unfortunately, what I think is about to happen is Severino is going to have a bad outing. I think this Dodgers hitting is going to wake up. I think this Dodgers bullpen and pitching is starting to get in a phenomenal groove that the Mets are not going to be able to handle. And it's going to be all she wrote. So that's what I think. Dodgers are going to win in 6. Now, more quickly, because I'm basically going to say similar things about the Guardians and the Yankees. Biggest fear coming into this and why I really did think the Yankees were going to go on a run was my fear of the bullpen. Well, the bullpen has not given up a run yet this playoff. I'll have to say about that. Anyways, and I talked a lot about, I've also talked a lot about how there's, in my opinion, 3 sides to a baseball game. You got the starting pitching, you got your bullpen pitching, you got your hitting. Kind of got to cover that. Yeah, there's a lot more to it. There's fielding, there's this, that, and the other thing. There's a bit more to it. But in my opinion, I think that if you can win the hitting and then win either the starting pitching or the closing, you can win a game. And coming into this, I thought, yeah, the Yankees, they can make the ALCS. But then we're probably going to play Cleveland. Well, here we are playing Cleveland. What's going to happen when we play Cleveland? Well, I think we got a better starting rotation. Okay. Hitting, pretty inconsistent hitting, same with Cleveland. Okay. But let's look at the bullpen. Well, Cleveland's got Class A. Who's the Yankees closer? Silence is loud. Well, now I'm pleasantly surprised to actually be able to say, let's redo that conversation. Guardians got Class A. Pretty good. Who's the Yankees closer? Luke Weaver's the Yankees closer. Yeah, that guy. The scrawny guy that doesn't really look like a pitcher. The guy that doesn't really look like he belongs. And I'm pretty sure in an interview, he's the one who said that. And yet he has more than proven the fact that he belongs. He's phenomenal right now in the playoffs. Started getting hot. This Yankees bullpen is getting hot. The bats, Stanton's hot. Stanton's stealing bases. Okay, go Stanton. Need to get a little more of that base running out from the rest of the team because coming down the stretch, there's going to be a lot of runners left on base, and there's going to be a lot of the Yankees not being able to score that. So I think guys like Cabrera, Volpe, trying to think of some more guys. Got to steal bags. Birdie's pretty quick. He could steal a bag, I think. But Volpe, Cabrera, Chisholm, got to get going. Got to get stealing bags, especially those 3. And I think the Yankees need to get more aggressive. I think that, honestly, I am all game for Soto bunting, for I'm slowly wrestling this now, but if anyone knows from the high school that I went to, we would bunt everybody. I've grown up in a system in which your four hitter who's batting 500 on the season with 10 home runs is going to step up to lead off an inning, to lead off in the game, and he's going to lay down a bunt. And that's just expected of my team. So I'm a big fan of the bunt. It is a useful tool, especially when they're putting on a massive shift in which the third baseman's back where the shortstop's supposed to be. It's not the shift, it's the shift. I don't even think the Yankees should do it. Play up front, play straight up, because you know what? All right, what? You stack a guy over there? Like most of the times, the guy shifted over because he's playing up the middle. Okay, so they hit it back up the middle, and you made a play on it. Great. But when they go opposite of the shift, but guys like Rizzo have proven that wrong in the past of bunting, and I think that Soto should bunt, get on base. Now he's hitting pretty well. Judge, can you lay down a bunt, get a guy over, do it. He's not been hitting really well. Stan's been hitting well. Okay, Volpe's got great speed. Chisholm too. Lay down a bunt, get on. And if the Yankees can do that, they're gonna win. Because quite honestly, this Guardians team, they're good, but let's look through some of the top guys. Jose Ramirez, he's currently batting 188 in the playoffs. Josh Naylor is batting 200 in the playoffs. Andres Jimenez, 167. Now, Stephen Kwan and Lane Thomas 316, Stephen Kwan, 524, to be expected. Those guys are good. David Fry's batting 250. Bo Naylor's batting 0. Has Bo not gotten at bat? Oh, yeah, he's gotten at bats. He doesn't have a hit yet. So, Class A's ERA in the playoffs is 6.35. Nice. So, I'm looking at this team, and I'm seeing the inconsistency that I expected. I'm seeing the struggling starting rotation, or lack thereof. And I'm seeing a bullpen that has been all right. Pretty good. I mean, you got Game 2, Class A, giving up that 3-run bomb. Now, they've put up some big numbers in Game 1 and Game 5. Other than that, they've scored 5 runs in the middle 3 games, which is not good. And the Tigers played small ball and figured out a way to put up the runs. And quite honestly, Yankees can do the same. That's why I think the Yankees are going to win in 5. I think the Yankees can win in 5. I think the Yankees are going to win in 5. So I'm picking the Yankees in 5. I know, bold, big, probably going to be 6. Probably going to be in 6. But I'm going different. Bold predictions. Yankees in 5. Dodgers in 6. Enjoy your night, everybody. Stay tuned later tonight on the Instagram page. Max's Mike on Instagram coming out. It's going to be my Sunday night NFL predictions. Hope you all have a great night. And again, tomorrow, Monday night predictions will be coming out. So, have a great rest of your day. Take care. Goodbye.